Alright, we are at the create phase for this abstract landscape. So you have some palette paper inside of a tray, and then you have some colors that you think you will need for replicating the image that you have chosen for this landscape. So we're going to have the first section that we're going to work on is we're going to create a like 2x2 grid, so fourths. So I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to separate this. This is an 8x6 canvas. So I'm going to go 4 inches, 4 inches, 6, so 3 inches, and 3 inches. And then I'm just going to draw a quick line across. Don't guess, try to be kind of mathematical about this. Just create that quick line there. And then with a pencil, go across to the next. And I have my 4 sections. So this first step, what you're going to do is you're going to find the colors inside your image that are predominantly there and then fill in these respective spaces. So I have a landscape in front of me that has sky in the top and some mountains and then grass in the bottom. The grass down here in this left section is much more yellow than the grass over here. So it's going to be more of a yellowy green and more of a cool green, more of a blue green over here. And then the sky up here has kind of a yellowy blue in this section, and it's actually a little bit lighter over here. So I'm going to try to accomplish those. So I'm going to take my paint then, and I'm going to try mixing and creating what those colors will be right now. So a big part of this exercise is learning color mixing. So I'm taking my brush and I'm actually holding it up to image. Take a look and see if I have a close color to what I see inside my image. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to start filling in this area and making sure I use enough paint. I know I always tell you to take not too much paint, but you want to make sure you're using enough paint to really create this surface. And we're using a student grade paint, so it's somewhat translucent, so you got to be pretty generous with the amount of paint that you're using when developing this. And notice I haven't even used that phthalo green that I pulled. I'm just mixing my green. I'm using an ultramarine blue and a deep yellow, which is the colors that we have and what they're called from the paint brand, this Blick brand that we have at school. So I'm just going to fill this section in. I'm keeping all my brush strokes going one direction on purpose because then I'll have a texture created underneath as we layer on top of this. That's a big part of this lesson as well, as learning how to layer. So I'm going to fill this section in nice and rich so there's no white area left. So I have this little bit cooler green, real earthy, kind of cool green, getting every little white area nicely filled in. And then I'm going to move my way over to the next section. So we're going to fill in all 4 sections with the respective color that you see in that area. Alright, so we have the first section down of taking this from your landscape image. So I have my general landscape. Then I've taken this down into 4 sections, and I've now painted those 4 sections. I enjoy the colors that I've created. I try to keep a little bit of yellow in there and tints like that. So then on your slides you have it divided into 16ths. So your next step is going to be to divide your space into that chunk. So I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to line this thing up on here, and now I'm going to measure across to break this up into 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 8 inches wide, so that would mean I would have at every 2 inches, so I'd go 2, 4, 6, 8, and then same thing across this side. So we'll go, this is 6, so I'm going to divide this up, so I'd be at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and then I'll make a vertical line across. I could be a little more exact here and make a mark on the bottom, but I'm pretty good with what I think I have here. Then I'm going to make this nice and parallel, like that. Then I'm going to take this and go across, like so. Then I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I have my mark at 1.5 inches. I'm going to separate this thing in half like so. And I don't need to really do one in the middle because I have this line already there. So I have my next 4 chunks. So now I'm going to be going through and then trying to recreate the general color that I see in each of these squares. So I'm going to work through and then paint each of those in to see what I can accomplish with the colors. And I may need to grab like another color or so because maybe I see in one of them, like up in this little section right here, it's mainly this blue, but there is that kind of neat magenta and stuff. So maybe I might paint it predominantly that because it's the dominant color, and I probably will stick with this like purpley blue here on that. So I'm actually going to need in my colors, I don't have that like red to add to my color, so I'm going to grab that as well to make sure I'm accomplishing that color too. So we'll go from there and we'll start filling in those colors.